Hey guys, Bryan here from Liquid Concepts. So today we're going to talk a little bit about cleaners. Something that a lot of people will probably overlook a lot of the times. They will just scuff a part, blow it off, and start using it, start priming it, painting it, things like that. One critical step that you definitely want to make sure of is that you use the correct cleaner for the job that you have. And so there's a couple of things that I'd like to kind of go over on, and mainly the differences between a solvent-based cleaner like what we have here versus So the main thing is what the difference is between a solvent-based cleaner and a water-based cleaner, and which one you should use on which application. So let's kind of dive into that and figure out which one that you're going to need for which application. So first off, let's start with the solvent-based cleaner. So the solvent-based cleaner is going to be a lot more harsh of a cleaner. It's going to clean a lot better. It's going to take off a lot more oils and wax and grease and things like that. Now again, don't try to take and wipe off grease, actual grease, with this cleaner. That's not what it's made for. It should already be thoroughly cleaned with soap and water. If you do already have something like that, then once that's done, this cleaner is here to get off the oils from your hands, any type of like wax or grease that may have came from cleaning products, or anything like tire shine even, or anything like that. Those all have silicone or wax or grease in them, so that will help clean that. The other thing to remember is that with a solvent-based wax and grease remover, it is going to be a lot more harsh on the part. So if you have bare plastic, you do not want to use that. So usually what we do is on bare metal, bare plastic, or anything like that, we definitely want to use a solvent-based wax and grease remover. And this is normally what we use in the shop, probably about 90 to 95% of the time. The only time that we would not use this is whenever we have either wood or bare painted parts. And so let's say that you have something that comes in and we already based it, and then we've got, like, say, a fingerprint in it, or we got a smudge in it, or something like that. If it's already base coated, you do not want to use a solvent-based wax and grease remover, because it will actually take off the paint a lot of the time. So you definitely want to be careful with that. And so that's where having a water-based wax and grease remover really helps out. So with the water-based, the one thing to remember is that it's a lot less, it's a less harsh chemical that they use on it, and of course it's a water-based, so it's not going to cut that grease and the oils and everything like that as well as what it will with the solvent base. So with the water base, you may not use it a lot, but it is really good for if you're using bare painted parts, or let's say that you already have a freshly clear coated part that you're about to re-clear. Sometimes we will use the water base in that instance as well. So depending on your application, most of the time you're probably going to be using the solvent-based wax and grease remover. It's a good all-around wax and grease remover. It does help clean parts really well. And then, of course, after you use the wax and grease remover, then come back in, tack everything off. Now you're ready for your primer, your paint, your clear coat, and then you're good to go. Same thing with your water-based cleaner, except for it's going to be used on mainly parts that are very susceptible to either being rusted or to the solvent that could take off a coating or soften it or something like that. So we do offer both of these here at Liquid Concepts. Of course, you have the LC101, which is right here for your solvent-based wax and grease remover, and we have the LC102, which is for your water-based wax and grease remover. Now, one thing that we like to do is a lot of people will take this and pour it on a rag, wipe it on there, and you're good to go. Most of the time, that's perfectly fine. But what we found is that it does help to actually have it in a pump action spray bottle. And so what we have here is, of course, this is our water-based wax and grease remover, and so we pretty much can pump this up. We fill it up, put the lid on it, pump it up, and then what's nice is that it will actually spray out all of the area that we need. And so we can take a rag, we can spray it on it, wipe everything down, and then it's good to go. These actually do have solvent resistant O-rings and everything like that on it. So of course the water base you don't have to worry about, but even with the solvent base you don't have to worry about that either, because they are made for using solvent based materials as well as water based materials. So just something to keep in mind. These aren't very much money and they work really well. We have a couple of sets of them, one for our water base right here, one for our solvent base, and then that way we know 100% whenever we go to wipe something off, we can quickly grab it, we just spray it on there, we wipe it off, and then we're good to go. Another thing to keep in mind is whenever you are using any of these products, always try to make sure that you use a lint-free rag, just so that way whenever you go to blow everything off and get it ready for your paint, your primer, your clear coat, or anything, any coating in general, you don't have a lot of dust, a lot of lint, or of course anything like that. If you have any questions or comments, definitely leave them below. We'd love to hear from you. And if you have any questions about any of the two products, we are going to leave links in the description below, so that way you can go and check them out online. If you like this video, definitely give us a big thumbs up. We'd always love to have that. And also definitely hit the subscribe button. We'd love to have you subscribe to our weekly tips and tricks on anything that is hydrographics or paint related. We try to do a plethora of everything on any of the videos that we do. I'm Brian from Liquid Concepts. We're making hydrographics great again. We'll see you guys next time.